Hey guys, your boy M.K.S here. Hope everyone's well. Making a video again very late, 1:45, seems to be the theme. 1:45, that is, for anyone's watching. I thought I'd make one video before I go to sleep. Today, technically it's a new day, but anyway, I know I said I'd try and upload a video every day, so I hope to do my best, and I hope someone out there will enjoy it. So I'll try and make this video as interesting as possible, as usual, as I do try to, if I can. So yeah, I want to talk about, as the title suggests, like I think the benefits potentially of being single, or even solitude, or being by yourself. And if my family sees this, I hope they don't take the wrong impression. But having learned disabilities myself, I sort of still live with my family, my mum and all that. So yeah, I think one of my goals, a simple goal, well, I don't know if it's a simple goal, especially for me. For other people it might be, but I think would be to learn how to perhaps be as independent as possible, and maybe, like, I suppose it would be difficult because I don't have much money, but to get my own place. But yeah, I think especially for an eccentric like me, a bit quirky, and who has all these patterns and habits and ways of doing things, and doesn't like distractions and that sort of thing, I think probably if I could, I'd probably live sort of in the middle of nowhere. But I do like company at times. But anyway, what I was thinking is like how like all the charity work I want to do. So I think if you want to do projects, like if you want to do, whether it's running your own business or in developing your career, like in technology or whatever area you work in, or the charity work I want to do, the philanthropy work I want to do abroad, I think there's a benefit perhaps of being in solitude, perhaps because then you can focus on what you want to do, and you can have a huge amount of focus on, he says, as he plays around with his calendars, but a huge amount of focus, and I suppose I'm quite easily distractible as well, so as you can probably see, but you can have such a focus on your career or your hobbies, or, as I say, in my case, sorry, philanthropy or charity, trying to help people at the moment, trying to work on projects that hopefully will benefit people across Asia, especially, and the Asian diaspora around the world, as I say, but especially in Asia. So I think there are benefits to being single, and I don't want to argue with the guy upstairs, as they say, with the guy upstairs, but i.e. God, but I talked about before in my previous videos that I'm not that hugely like spiritual or religious, like as in I believe in God, but I don't go to church or anything like that. But there are certain things about the Bible that I probably disagree with a bit, like, say, worship. I'm not a big fan of worship. But if God said to love him, I think like the more I fear God, or the more I have to worship him, or things like that, or the more rules there are, the less perhaps I love him. I'd love him more if there were less rules, and I didn't have to worship or fear or anything like that. I hope that makes some sense, as I often say. But I sort of agree with the charitable bits and things like that, but there's quite a bit of it that I might not agree with. Like the Bible says, like some about things about marriage, but I'm not a big fan of weddings or marriage or anything like that. So I often talk about, but I think also if you're married, I think the Bible also does say some things about being, if you're married, you're like, you focus a lot on your wife, whereas if you're and you have less time to focus on God. And in my case, I say like philanthropy, charity, or whatever, like if I had a girlfriend or wife, like, I don't know if they'd be able to put up with my quirky habits anyway, but even if they did, I feel like they'd probably want me to spend money and time, attention, time, money, and things like that with them. And I think so many boyfriends are ATMs, attention, time, money, or whatever, So I think that can be a distraction, even if, for instance, they went Dutch with you, and paid their fair share, arguably. I still think that they still want you to spend time with them and do all that sort of stuff. So I think that's a distraction from being able to focus. I'm contradicting myself a bit, but I do like to work in teams, and so I would like to develop a team that helps me with my philanthropy, help me decide what to do with my notebooks and who I can share them with, and who I can share what ideas with, and how I can develop those ideas and collaborate with people and perhaps hear ideas that I wouldn't have thought about myself, and looking from different angles and look at strengths and weaknesses with my own ideas and how we can bounce ideas off each other. So in a way, if we're working towards a shared goal, I think there's more value in teamwork than working alone or by yourself, basically. But so excuse me. So, but I think like with relationships, like sometimes like there's small talk, or there's having to talk about conversations you're not really interested in. And I know I talked before in my other videos about how I think relationships, or as I call them, relationship with replace the P with a T, sort of, or sort of a romantic or formal relationship, sort of, I think are more favourable or beneficial to females, because I'm never really wanting to be a provider or stuff like that, or protector or things like that. So I think that like males are supposed to do the approaching, providing, protecting, and have so many responsibilities. Then some people say, what I've heard is like people say that I don't know if this is true, but they do say that if a woman gets bored of a relationship, she can easily end it. And like, say if you have children, you still have to pay child support or things like that. So it's mostly because males earn more, it's more likely to go against you, and you have to pay for those sorts of things. So but like me, I don't really want money for myself that much. As long as I have like, all I really want is shelter, enough to eat, enough to drink, and I suppose actually, if I could become independent enough to like live by myself, in spite of my learning disabilities, overcome some of those problems with my learning disabilities, like learn to be independent, learn how to cook, and clean, look after myself, things like that, then I probably want to live like far away from so many distractions, like live in the middle of the countryside, or in the forest somewhere, as long as I felt safe. But and like probably for company, if you like, just watch YouTube videos and stuff like that. So which is mostly what I do anyway. And maybe every now and then go outside and meet other people. But another part of me does want to network with other people, like discuss like what ideas about how we can work to support Asia, but as long as we're on the same page, to put it simply, as long as we are, I think that's quite a funny term, as long as we're on the same page, as long as we're working towards the same goal, basically. So I thought I'd use the term on the same page, because that's more easy to understand. But yeah, so as long as we're working towards the same goal, like, so for instance, running a project to help people in slums or orphanages and people with dyslexia and things like that in Asia, and possibly working with charities and NGOs like dyslexic charities and things like that. As long as we work towards the same goals, the same dreams and things like that, I think that would be okay. But like relationships, I think or even family relationships, they're kind of like people might expect you to run errands, or I'm going to try and keep this video around 10 minutes, so I'll try not to waffle too much. I might make a part 2 or make another video or something like that. But yeah, so or write in the comments section, so I don't have to, so I can still explain more if I think of any more, but not waffle too much, hopefully. But yeah, so I lost my train of thought. But yeah, like say people say respect your elders, or let's say your mum or your aunts or your uncles or your dad or whoever else might say, like in my case, Michael, they might say, Michael. And if you're thinking of something that's like distracting you, and then they get you to run errands and things like that, and it's not that I want to be lazy, but sometimes like if you're thinking about something or writing something about, or charity, whether it's charity or whatever else, again, if you want to develop your own business, I'm surprised like a lot of these billionaires even bother getting married, but maybe it looks better for the company. Like if they were going on casual dates, it might not look as good, but Anyway, I'd love to know what you think. I'm going to probably end this video because it's about 10 minutes long, so peace out.